Good morning, everyone. Okay, we'll continue our book reading this morning. It's Your Time to Service Excellence by Jeffrey K. Leica and Karen Rose. Yesterday, we looked at Principle 5, which says response to customers' pull. Today on page 180, we'll be looking at use PDCA to improve processes to achieve desired outcome. See, Dr. Deming warned, we should work on our process, not the outcome of our process. I'll take that again. We should work on our process, not the outcome of our process. We suspect, as the opening quote as the beginning of the chapter suggests, he was frustrated by regularly observing people struggling to meet management targets while trying to overcome poorly developed processes or no formal processes at all. If your manager asks you to be 10% more productive and you do not have the knowledge or tools to improve how you work, the only alternative is to work faster and harder. Rushing work may produce more defects. If your manager then tells you to reduce defects by 10% and you lack the capability to create a quality process, you'll be more careful, perhaps slowing down or adding in more layers of checking, making it harder to achieve the productivity target. Karen has attended morning huddles in many organizations where the leader is frustrated. Although the metrics seem to be improving for the type of task the manager has asked the team to focus on, the metrics for other processes are slipping. Since the members of the team are only focused on the end of meeting the goal for each metric, they simply work harder, longer, or faster without changing the process, the means by which the work is completed. Okay. Everyone I know who has worked with a Japanese sensei has felt frustration at one time or another when the sensei asks the seemingly very simple question, why? I hear this like, we set up a beautiful pull system with color coding and it became very clear what to work on next, and our sensei asks, what is the purpose? This is basic lean. Doesn't the sensei know why? What the sensei is concerned about is a confusion of means and ends. Pull systems are a means, but setting up pull system can quickly become an end unto itself. We must deploy pull throughout the enterprise. Soon, the lean group is mindlessly deploying things that it can call pull system and see this as a solution to all ills. Our organization does not respond to actual customer needs. We just push our service on the next process, whether they are ready or not, and overwhelm them with paperwork. If we could simply get everybody to respond to real customer needs, we could solve half of our customer complaint and improve our productivity. It may be true that there is too much push in the organization and there are many opportunities to improve throughout pull system. But does the organization really know that if that is going to get to where it wants to be? Embedded in the frustration rant are the assumptions that pull everywhere will lead to reduced customer complaint by 50%. Pull everywhere will lead to improved productivity. Reduced customer complaint and increased productivity are the main goal everywhere. Pull is the best generic solution to generic problems everywhere. Continuous improvement does not mean applying generic solution to generic problems. It means finding specific ways to move each part of the system into the directions of clearly establishing goals. We rarely know exactly how the new tools will work until we try. Therefore, we must experiment and learn. Key points of macro process principles. Process principles are not solutions. They help us think about what we want to accomplish and why. However, they do not solve problems. In service processes, a generalized approach to value stream mapping may be useful to help see the current state of the process from the customer's perspective and then develop the big picture, macro vision of where we want to go next. However, value stream mapping is not a solution to a problem but a tool to help us see. Many services are highly valuable and it may not be useful or necessary to develop the level of detail such as tact time or the inventory between steps that is seen in many current state manufacturing maps. The real power of value stream mapping is in developing targets to be achieved step by step through PDCA. Lean principles can inform the target conditions we should be striving for and help us to identify possible countermeasures. Determine what value means from the point of view of your customers. All improvement offers start with deeply understanding the needs of your organization's specific customers and what values they need you to add for them. Customers don't always know what they need, so go to your customers' Gemba and see what they actually do and what they need. Strive for one-piece flow without stagnation by identifying and eliminating obstacles that are preventing work from flowing from one value-adding step to another. Customers are only paying for value-added work, which we have defined as any concrete thought or action that advances the work towards satisfying the customer's need. Each service organization and its customers are unique, so be creative in finding ways that value can flow to customers. Lean concepts such as sales and tact may be applicable. However, they might not. Look for places that work is stagnating and then find ways to eliminating that stagnation. Level work pattern to achieve steady, stable process with low variability. Unevenness or starting and stopping leads to waste as we restart and also means that we will have a light workload sometimes and are very overburdened at other times. Service providers often believe that it is impossible to level the workload. However, leveling can be accomplished by finding creative ways to reduce variability in customer order or finding ways to adjust staffing. Responding to customer pull by creating supermarkets and using visual management where that makes sense. Use PDCA to learn how to apply the process principles creatively and in ways that make sense to satisfy your customers and meet your business goals. Remember, there are no generic solutions to generic problems. Process principles are not solutions, but ways to guide our thinking about responding to specific challenges we find in our service organization. So this is your stop for our reading this morning, and I believe these key points have summarized everything we've read in chapter 5 concerning